Hey guys, welcome back to The Horror with your hostess, with my hostess Janabelle, as always. So it is time to add my review, along with everyone else's reviews that have been coming out the last few days, of our 2017 adaptation of the movie It. It's based on the classic Stephen King novel, It's by the same name. So let me tell you about this movie. Um, it blew. I don't understand the big fuss. It sucks. Why do people like it? Seriously. I mean, the original is such a classic. It was brilliant. It's a masterpiece. That's a lie. No, that is a lie. So no, you guys know I did not hate it. I didn't hate it. I actually, quite contrary to what I was just said, I actually loved this adaptation. Oh my god, I almost want to say it blew my mind, but not quite. It's not quite to that standard, but no, it definitely impressed me. I feel like it's definitely been living up the hype and everything to what we've been hearing, to all the reviews I've been hearing from people. It's definitely, as I was leaving the theater, I literally told my mom and my sister, Megan, I was like, that is the version we should have had all along. But no, it is really a great adaptation. You have to really also kind of go into this not thinking of it as a remake, because it truly really isn't a remake. It is more of a new adaptation of the book. So, but yeah, you guys, this is great. It is a great adaptation. Let's start off though with Pennywise, because I'm sure a lot of you are like, okay, what did you think of Pennywise? Because you guys know I'm such an avid lover and admirer of Tim Curry. Anytime I do talk about the movie It or anything, I'm always like, I basically watch it for Tim Curry. That's really the only reason, like so many of his movies. Um, I like, even going in, I kept telling myself, okay, this is, a different actor. They're doing it different. This is not going to be like trying to copy what Tim Curry did to it, or sort of make it any better or anything. It literally, truly was a different Pennywise, a newer Pennywise, and everything. And honestly, Bill Skarsgård, sorry if I slaughtered that name, he definitely brought his own to Pennywise. I do. I mean, it's not like something where, like the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street or anything, we're gonna be like, oh my god, Robert Englund, because Robert Englund was such a iconic Freddy Krueger. I feel like obviously Tim Curry is kind of a very iconic Pennywise, but Bill Skarsgård totally, like I said, brought his own to Pennywise, to the character. And I mean, I will say, I will go out on a limb and say, I feel like his Pennywise, definitely, I could see it becoming more of an iconic character. Maybe not quite an iconic character, but will definitely be remembered. I feel like it will have a legacy. His Pennywise will have a legacy throughout the years and everything. And I know he will always be kind of compared to Tim Curry, but I think it's going to be in a good way. I think people will be like, well, I like Tim Curry's Pennywise because of this, or I like Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise for this. I think it'll be a lot of like positive on both ends when we compare it down the road and everything. I mean, even now I'm like, I can't even really say anything negative, too much negative about his Pennywise, because I think he did, like I said, I think he did do a brilliant job at making this Pennywise his own. So, and then the kids as well. The kids, for me, I would say I was a little more iffy about, because in the first one or the original one that we've had for so long, like those group of kids in the first one, and I know a lot of people feel this way about the original, that first part, that those kids definitely gelled together. They were just really good. They worked together really well. Definitely had that sense of togetherness and everything. And I was like, okay, well, how's it going to play out in this one? And I feel like it definitely works. I still feel like they had that closeness and everything of looking out for each other. But I feel like in this one, what the first one didn't have was that the kids spoke like real kids. Because I mean, the original one, I know that first part was set in like the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, and even for that, for this little TV movie, I felt like they didn't always talk like actual kids all the time. It was a little more proper. I mean, obviously, I know it was a TV movie, so you got to take that into consideration. But the way the kids talked in this one, it was just like, that's how kids talked. That's how I talked as a kid. I definitely know that's how like 12, 13-year-old kids when I was growing up kind of talked and everything. So it worked. You know, the kids were great. One little thing that I have to kind of agree with that I heard and I think it might have been over the guys over at either We Watched a Movie or another. I don't. You know what? It might not have been We Watched a Movie, but someone had said that they felt like the Ben character and the Mike character, those kids weren't really as much, felt like they were as much in the movie, like there wasn't as much attention to them. And I have to agree, because I feel like they were a little bit more of like the background, although I feel like Ben had a little more of a story than Mike did, but it just, yeah, it's kind of like, they would kind of pop up and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, they're in this movie. I wish they would have had them a little bit more in the movie, like they did with the Tommy Lee Wallace adaptation. But you know what? Not a huge deal. It didn't really take too much away. Plus, I feel like since they were more like the newer kid, well, Ben was the newer kid. Mike in this one is not necessarily the new kid. He's the homeschool kid. So the other kids, the other 5 kids who went to school together, knew each other for a while. I felt like it was more appropriate to kind of more focus on them a little bit more and how comfortable they were together when they were all hanging out and everything. But I mean, that's just my take on it. It didn't destroy it or anything. Didn't destroy the movie for me anything. It's just a little nitpicking. But yeah, it was just so. Those kids were great. Those kids definitely made the movie, I have to say. But yeah, God, there's just so many things in this movie that were like so good. And so another thing that I really enjoyed, I won't spoil like too much for you guys, but something that I really liked at the end of this first chapter of this new adaptation is that, like at the end of the second part of the original, the Tommy Lee Wallace adaptation, where like, you know, it cuts to like Audra up in like the cobwebs and everything, and she's just kind of like, you know, she had seen the deadlights and everything. I like that in this one, instead of doing like a cobweb type thing, because that was stupid. They actually float. So all these, you know, kids that were missing, you see sort of like floating around in his little like den or whatever, his little cave, you know, in truly making them float down there, which I loved. I love that aspect of it. So it just, you know, this movie totally has done it right. Definitely has stayed more true to the book, to the source material and everything. I am very excited about the second chapter of this movie, which I think is coming out next year, if not the year after. But it's going to be really interesting to see the adult side of it and everything. So. I don't know, you guys, but no, this was definitely very well done. And this is, you guys know too, that any sort of time there's a remake, new adaptation, or reboot, I'm always like, I hated it. It's not a good idea. Shouldn't do this. this one, no. This one, like I said, done right, done good. Pennywise, like I said at the beginning of the video, I feel like will be remembered. Bill Skarsgård has totally has made something. Definitely has made something within this character. Kids were great. I mean, I would have to give this 9 bag of peanuts out of 10 cotton candies. I will. I know it's a high grade, but I give it 9 out of 10. But you guys, if you are hesitant on going to see this, go see it. You will not be disappointed. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening to me rant and everything. Till next time, you guys, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.